Hello. Good day to you, mutants, friends. Hold on here for a second now. Zoom. We're doing Zoom now. What the fuck? Why did it go back here? Okay, so I'm starting this Zoom a little early because I wanted to answer some questions before I started bringing people in to talk and such. So you can all see here, you can see me here. So this is what's going on is that I want to answer a few of these questions here in order to help people. And one thing is, I'm trying to figure this out. Mark's arm is broken still, producer Mark. He's blasted. He's getting it surgery on his arm. He's getting a CAT scan today, and then we're going to find out what's going on, but it's going to be all right. Mitchell, I see you. Mitchell, I love you. But I'm going to answer a few of these really quickly, and I'm going to talk to Mitchell. I love my boy Mitchell. How are some good ways? Dragon Mesmer asks, how are some good ways to connect up with other artists? How have you gotten out of your artist hidey hole to connect and collaborate? That's easy. The internet is here. You can connect with anybody you want, and you can talk to them. You can talk to anybody, and you can initiate, the things that you're interested in doing. And I think that if you try to make a community based on mutual support and kindness and interest, then it should be easy. I like to go to people's art shows. I like to just support artists. I think that you got to treat people the way you want to be treated in this world. Okay. As far as artists, don't be an opportunist weirdo. That's not fun. Nobody likes that. And even if you're desperate, if you're feeling desperate to do art for a living or whatever, it's fine. But desperation is a stinky cologne, as they say. So you want to just be really transparent. Like, hey, I want to try to do this thing or do this or do that. It's like nobody wants like a weird, opportunist type scammer going down or whatever. So this is a good one. Also, before the internet, I will share some stories where I would drive to another city and sneak a painting. I remember when I met Bigfoot, the artist Bigfoot, I went to I was really wanting to connect with artists, and I was like, how do I do it? And this was, it was like you could find out about stuff through magazines. Essentially, the internet was there, but it wasn't, social media wasn't really popping like it is now. Well, I drove down to San Francisco to meet Bigfoot because I liked his paintings. I thought they were cool. And I was like, oh, I'll meet him. I'll give him a little painting as a gift. And that maybe it'll start a friendship or something. I don't know. He was very intoxicated. So I was like, well, I don't think does that now, but he was wasted. I mean, he was at his opening. It was fine. But anyways, I was like, well, he's too wasted. He's not going to pay attention to anything I'm going to say. So I took this little painting and I put it in his pocket while he wasn't looking. And then I get a phone call the next day from him. And he's like, hey, man, you gave me this painting. I guess what happens is he went and talked to a gallery that had some of my artwork up and got my phone number and then called me. And then after that, he goes, hey, do you want to be in this Scion art show with me? And I was like, yeah. And then it just sort of happens like that. So initiating yourself and doing your best to just make friends, from an authentic place, really. That's how it is. Anyways, I'm going to let Mitchell in here. I love Mitchell. Look at his face in that picture. Bad boy, what's up? Can you hear me? You're connecting to audio. Hey.
And I was like, yeah. And then it just sort of happened.
Oh, you got to turn that can you hear me now, buddy?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, good to see you. How are you? Oh,
good, man.
Trying to come in here. What's up, man? I haven't seen you in so long.
Oh man, I just been like moving around and stuff. So I was like living in Hawaii and now I'm in Washington.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
That's cool. For those that don't know, me and Mitchell used to work out together in the same like boot camp class. I still go to that outside, that class.
Do you?
Yeah, that Jack is teaching it. It's outside now. It's out this.
Nice.
Yeah,
I miss that. I hella miss Oakland. Just
come back. It's the best city in the world.
Yeah, I will be back.
Yeah. What's going on, man?
Man, I just after the pandemic, I was living in Hawaii by myself and I just kind of missed my family. So I moved back to Washington and I've been chilling out here and I just rented an art studio. So, so I'm like just trying to go full time into that.
Wow. That's cool. What are you painting? Yeah. What are you doing? What kind of art?
Mostly I'm learning ZBrush right now and I'm 3D printing. And so I'm trying to create like some low fantasy barbarians, monsters. And then I want to mix that with my painted miniatures and also like sculpt, like physical sculpted terrain with the 3D printed miniatures. So,
oh, damn.
Yeah.
You're sculpting. That's tight. Well, if you ever want to sculpt some stuff together, let's do it.
Right on.
I want to try. I know it's like you're trying to, you're doing it, but if you're trying to like get into that as a way of figuring out how to make cash or something like that, it would be sick if I could use it as a way of like telling everybody about what you're doing or something. I don't know.
That'd be rad.
Yeah, of course. But that's all. Yeah, I mean, ZBrush is fascinating as hell. And then like you could get into rigging that stuff. Like you take like a digitally sculpted, figure, and then you figure out that way of rigging it so that it can actually move as a puppet. That's like how CGI is.
Yeah,
that's CGI. So you can get in. That's your next move.
Yeah. Have you ever sculpted with pink foam, like from Home Depot?
No. Sounds cool.
Yeah, it's like pink construction foam. Okay. And that's what I used to make dungeons. And you want to know who used that is, remember when I first met you, there's the guy who's got like the warehouse in West Oakland, and he collects all the things at all the flea markets and has a giant warehouse full of things. And he had a show at the gallery where you had the High and Fire show.
Not Leighton Kelly. No.
Yeah, Leighton Kelly.
That who you're talking about?
Yeah, he would sculpt like skulls with pink foam and stuff.
I should get into that.
Yeah.
Pink foam, huh?
Uh-huh.
Fascinating. That's the primitive form of ZBrush.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think you can do everything like 3D printed, you got to have that like raw material.
Yeah, 3D printing is expensive though.
Yeah, but it's getting like cheaper. Yeah, I just bought this new 3D printer for like $419 and it's like 4K printer.
Whoa.
It's dope. Yep.
Do you know how to do 3D scans or like with your phone and stuff?
No, I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, there's like an app on your phone that if you kind of just scan around an image, and I bet you could scan, like if you're like, oh, I want a little like figure, you could just scan it with your phone and then print it out.
Yeah. I'm living in Bellingham, Washington, and there's this other guy who does 3D printing here in town. I've been following for a couple of years, and he's been doing 3D scans, and just how like you could do, 3D printing is like manufacturing, right? Like you're duplicating. There's a lot of like, I would almost call them like fine art miniature sculptures for like Dungeons and Dragons and RPGs type of stuff.
Yeah.
And I've been getting kind of hip to those on Instagram,
Whoa.
and they scanned some of those. And
Oh.
those, I mean, those are original pieces. Those are cool.
I love the old, I have a bunch of the old like Dungeons and Dragons miniatures, like, you know, they come in the boxes and the box art is crazy. I love that primitive ass like box art from D&D.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. I want to like I want more time to just go and like just mess around like that, like with like oils and stuff where it's like, I don't know. I kind of, cause like it's like weird is like you see this stuff, this box art from Dungeons and Dragons, and you realize like nobody knew what they were doing. There was no established aesthetic. So it's so experimental. I'm interviewing Errol Otis, by the way. Do you know who that is?
I don't know.
So Errol Otis did the cover of Deities and Demigods, and then he did so he's like the classic, you know, the old school.
That's like the rawest form of D&D art, you know?
Yeah, it is. And so he lives here in town, actually. So I'm gonna hit him up, see what's up with that. I think he's gonna be interesting. He was in the Dungeons and Dragons documentary. I don't know if you saw that on
I haven't seen that. I think it's on Amazon though, right?
is it Amazon or Netflix? I can't really remember.
I kind of cancel all my subscriptions. So
yeah, canceling subscription,
yeah.
liberating feeling, I think.
Hey, I do have one consumerist activity though. Like in the pandemic and the shutdown, my friend got me into Magic the Gathering. So
Okay.
I started playing that.
Okay.
And man, if you're not careful, that's going to take all your money. But it's been cool listening to your artists you've been interviewing and been doing art for them. I've been seeing their art.
Yeah. Yeah. Justine and Jean, they're doing it. But you know, my friend Mike Sutphin, he was like one of the OG dudes doing oil paintings, but like for it, you know, in that style.
Yeah.
And I think that they went from oil paintings to like digital stuff. Cause it's like, it's weird because it's very like that Dungeons and Dragons oil painting style that kind of came up on the scene. I was like, it looks cool, but it looks like not finished or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm describing it right, but it's like, let me see if I have it because there's a, let me see. This? Yeah, I don't have it, but like, oh, well, I'm gonna grab this anyways. But I don't have it, but it's like, it's a painting of Demogorgon where he's like crushing shit. And I'm like, oh, that looks so cool. But then like I look up close to it and I'm like, it looks like a bunch of digital layers. But anyways, this is Errol Otis.
Yeah, that's classic.
Yeah, that's cool as hell.
I used to like get that from the Oakland Library when I'd want to like go back and read the old books. I got a bunch of old books. That's a Gary Gygax book. Like that's, man, he was just starting out then. It has got like Native American gods, Greek gods, you know.
This is one of the rare ones that's got like the Cthulhu mythos and the Elric of Melnibone.
Yep.
Like that. But I'm gonna this guy just left. Let me see. It's all good. Let's see. We got Keith. Do you have any questions? I'm gonna get this Keith guy in here. Who's this? Well, I want you to come back to Oakland, man.
All right, I'll be back there this year.
It's fun. And then like let me know. Hit me up if you are trying to collaborate on any digital sculpts or just show me what you're working. I just want to see it. Like I would love to see what you're doing.
I'm just started in ZBrush, so probably be a couple months, but yeah, I'll hit you up.
That's totally fine. You're looking good. Your hair is beautiful. Look at this. Holy
thanks,
shit.
bro. Yeah, you're like, I'm getting Mitchell on. I was like, oh shit, I got to get a t-shirt on. And then I went. And
You got that.
My favorite shirt, bro.
The Kraken thing.
this shirt is like worn to shit. It's just got holes in it.
I love it.
It goes with me everywhere.
It does. Well, look, Keith just bailed. So is he out? Wait, let me see. Oh, and we got Chris. Okay. Zombie. Yeah. Where's Keith? I wanted to ask Keith something. Anyways, Actually, hold on for a second. I'm trying to see this. How do I see if people are giving me questions here? This is very difficult to navigate for a weird dummy like me. Let me see this. Let's see. Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay, there's people. I want to see you paint with neck face. I don't know if I will. Like, I love hate with Disney. Keep subscribing. Unsubscribe. Yeah. So don't Skinner murals and graffiti. Okay. All right, we could do that. I'll do that. But oh shit. I feel like, dude, every time I close something, I feel like I'm trying to find you. Here you are. Okay, I know where you're at here. There you are. Jesus. I feel like I lose. I'm this is why I need producer Mark when he broke his arm. He's broken. His whole arm is busted in half. But it's healing. It's healing. That's the good news. And then hopefully the bone, he's gonna get surgery, and then the bones won't heal in the wrong fashion. So that's cool. But anyways, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna answer some more of these questions here that people have sent in. I guess you could stay with me for a little bit here if you want.
Sweet.
Let's see. Okay, how do I know when to quit my job and pursue illustration full time? That's a heavy question, but listen. When I worked with people with developmental disabilities at an art program for like 8 or 9 years. I was able to do art a lot. So I was able to kind of like work on art while I was working with people. I had driven down to San Francisco a bunch. So I was driving down to San Francisco sometimes like a couple times a week from Sacramento where I lived. And I would go down there and kind of integrate myself into the population of people down there, making friends and connections and stuff. And I had curated some shows with people, and I was kind of generating some momentum. And then the idea though is that you understand that if you have a job, you're getting money, you're getting paid, because that's kind of necessary, right? Well, if you are trying to figure out how to use your art as a way of getting, money for your labor, then you have to figure out a way of how's that going to make money. So then you start to think about like the hustles, like the diverse hustles. For me, it was shirt designs for bands, illustration for like random stuff, a magazine, like illustration for a beer company or something, or selling paintings, doing a mural for some cash. So it's like, painting toys, selling toys, it was like establishing a stream of cash so that you could quit your job. So I would say, if you feel comfortable with the knowing where you're gonna be able to make money off your art, if you want to be autonomous and not depend on like a partner or your parents or something, you got to have like diverse, I don't know, like streams of revenue, and so that's I mean, even now, like I make comics, I sell toys, I have my web store my friends run, I sell prints, I do designs for companies, I'll make my comics, I do murals, stuff like that. Hold on, UPS is calling. Hello? Yes. Yeah. Hold on. Can I call you? Can you call me back in 45 minutes? Yes, please email me. theartofskinner@gmail.com. Thank you. Sorry, you guys. That was the UPS. It was a very important call. I would send so I'm working on this insane fine art statue, like this crazy fantasy figure statue. It's insane. I can't wait to share it with you. It's from this, it's a collaboration with this company called House of Gog, and they're in Canada. And they sent me the statue, the prototype, so that I could take promotional photos. And then I took all the photos, and then I carefully packed it back in the box to send it back to Canada. And that was UPS, and they sounded very afraid that they didn't have some information of something. So they were like, do you have this information? I said, just email me and then I'll send you, what you need or whatever. So I don't mean to be rude to everybody yet.
It's important.
Yeah, it's kind of important. I mean, when I see a UPS phone call, I'm like, oh, either something is being delivered right now or there's an emergency and somebody's upset. But anyway, so that's my answer. I mean, was that even an answer? Okay, so anyways, so everybody has to figure out what they're comfortable doing. It's like there's nothing more discouraging than establishing like a art career and then seeing it just like crumble before it even gets off the ground, so it's really hard. Anyways, I'm going to let this Michael Donovan person in here, because it looks like they've been waiting a little bit here. And then I guess I'll talk to you soon. It's really nice to see your beautiful face. I guess I'm going to put you back in the waiting room or something. Your house looks nice.
Yeah, I'm at my family's house.
Damn. Tell them I said hello.
I will.
All right. Have a good one, bro. I'll talk to you
All
later.
right, buddy.
All right, man. Michael Donovan, what's going on here? What do we got here? He's coming. Anyways, so forgive me for taking a phone call from the UPS. But I had to. He's back. What's up?
What's happening? You get screwed up again?
No, everything's cool. I think this is being recorded, and I think it should be live on it should be going live on YouTube. Maybe not. Hopefully it is. I think it is. Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm just going to accept the chaos of the world. Doesn't matter.
No worries.
Yeah. What's up, man?
Just chilling.
Just chilling. You got any good questions this week or anything? I have these ones.
Yeah, can you do a haunted house with Groman, Wonder Goblin, and Alex Pardee?
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
it's my dream.
James Groman, James Groman, the guy who did the Mad Balls, who created Mad Balls, and who's basically like a total legend. Me and him have actually been working on a collaborative toy for a while, and I think that we're doing some other stuff with Monster Forge. I just did an illustration for the Bernie Wrightson book. He's the tribute book. James is the one that introduced me to them to try to do something. And then Monster Forge is like a production company. And they, maybe we'll do some monster toys with them or something. I don't know. But I'm trying to, I love making toys. It's really fun. But I also just want to like kind of make my movies, make my like weird.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's
Stop
fun.
motion.
Yeah, the stop motion thing. And then we're going to go film. Right now we are filming on the 13th, 14th and 15th. Me and my friend Ross are filming live action sequences at Tippett Studios in Berkeley. because we're going to have live action elements involved in our stop motion film, and it's going really good. So I kind of want to do that, and it's going to be nuts. I'm really excited about it. Yeah, but a haunted house, that'd be cool. I mean, I don't know where. Everybody's spread out so far, but I think I'm going to do I'm going to have like a show in LA maybe later this year or something, and I'll make it like fun and scary and shit.
Any specific gallery or
no, I don't really like
your own show?
Yeah, I'm not really into galleries. I don't like how they take half the money but then don't take half the responsibility. Like the way that I think that a gallery should work, because there's a huge discrepancy between blue collar type art and fine art. So when you go to a fine artist is not really responsible for creating something that a big gallery will convince rich people to invest in. Okay, that's it. I don't make art that people are investing in for like, a future thing. Like they're not, it's like, it's not like my art is not to be speculated. It's like, it's just like, you like it, cool. You don't, that's fine. Like, who cares? But it's because it's like a class structure. So with galleries, like why would I, and this has happened to me several times in the past, like when I was really trying to do gallery stuff, and I was doing my expansive kind of wild, crazy ass paintings. It was in the middle of the street art boom. And so it was, everybody's like investing in street art, and it was like investments. People were, people who could buy, an original, whatever, Banksy or Shepard Fairey or Roa or like any of that street art stuff, like people were investing. They were buying something as a future, investment, because once you get past a certain price point, unless you're like an eccentric wealthy person, it's not you're just not capable of buying something as like anything other than an investment. You know what I mean? It's so, because it's like considered like a luxury. Now, if you buy like a fancy car, as soon as you buy a fancy car, like the
down in value,
the value just immediately goes down. But, people have no problem buying like an expensive car and then the value going down, but they're like, I'm not going to buy an expensive painting and then have the value go up. I don't know. It's just weird, it's very abstract. So like with a gallery, I go, okay, so why would I have a gallery show at a gallery and bust my ass and promote the gallery and promote my art and promote it and bring all the attention of the people and all this stuff and do all the networking and everything, and then have the show and do all the hard work and pay for the framing and pay for the cost of the supplies and do all this stuff and be all invested. And the gallery is essentially, now if they're a good gallery, they'll have buyers.
Right. And promote.
Yeah. And promote. But long gone are the days where, a gallery that would show some artwork like me would take out like full pages and juxtapose or something.
Right.
And even if they do, it's like, who's reading juxtapose now? The artwork in there is nowhere near what it used to be. It's not the same scene.
Right.
So, the idea is that like, well, why wouldn't I just continue my autonomy and my independence by renting out a building, having a pop-up, and then having subsequent events throughout the month? So, first week, gallery opening, then every other day, every couple days throughout the month or two that's open, that the gallery's open with my installations, my paintings, my illustrations, toys, everything there, right? Why would I not just have like print releases, toy releases, panel discussions, live painting, movie nights, reviews, hangouts, like pop-up shit for other people, releases, like you'd end up like, artists don't need galleries at all anymore.
Especially with Instagram.
Yeah. I mean, if you have like a
kind of even the score.
Yeah, but Instagram is also, it's like kind of dangerous to rely on just Instagram though.
Right. True.
I mean, it's dangerous it's dangerous to rely on anything but yourself. And a lot of these institutions and everything are predatory and created to make you think that you need them. Like a comic book company, like I did my comic, I used, on Kickstarter, I used it as a way of pursuing something that I love deeply, comics and horror comics and illustration. I used it to pay a lot of my friends to help me, and illustrators and colorists and people that I really love. And then I did it. I made more money on just this comic that I did most of it myself than I would have made if I would have done it through like Image Comics or something.
Right.
So it's weird. It's like you could sell less, much less, but make way more money. And then you cut out the middleman. I don't mind that. That's fine with me. That's my rant.
Your inks really got so awesome after that, working so hard on those comics. I mean, your inks are really, really amazing right now.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm doing tons. I mean, the second issue of Skin Crawl is going to be like 90 pages, 96. It's like going to be huge. It's going to be a lot bigger. So I don't know, man. But yeah, I don't think artists really need galleries. I think that, there was this weird shift from, it was like, okay, a gallery provides the space and the buyers and the promotion. The artist provides the art, right? And the excellence and the stuff that
right.
the gallery,
Content.
Right. Then the artist had to kind of learn how to promote. Then the artist learned how to have a business and learn how to like generate, people, buyers and public and fans, and stay connected and do all this stuff and do all this shit and manage their career, manage all this stuff. And a gallery just over time, in my opinion, stopped having to promote, stopped having to do a lot of shit, because that's what the artist was doing.
Right.
And so I'm like, well, how do you justify taking half the money?
True.
And so like there's galleries, like they see you busting your ass and crushing it and having a lot of like followers and a lot of energy around what you do. And they're like, oh, dude, we'd love to have a show with you. And it's like, yeah, I bet you would. I bet you would, because I'm going to crush it. It's going to be amazing. Anyway. And that's how like a lot of artists are, like even artists with like less followers, less time as creatives in a scene of self-sustainability are more equipped to deal with handling business and everything than like the best artists from like 15 years ago.
Right.
It's just like, it's day and night difference, like what the responsibilities are for people. So, I mean, I didn't become an artist to become like a businessman. I became an artist so that I could be a weird freak and smoke pot and the Queen all day. You know what I mean? And it just, but it's weird because I became like this brutal, business person. And like, I'm here to share it with like all, every artist I can, actually. So I don't know. You got any questions or anything?
Not really. Hope you hope you print some more of those the Necromancer shirts. I didn't get it in time.
Oh shit, man. I'm sorry. I will.
No worries. But usually you reprint them sometimes. So
I
I'll be able to
will.
look out. And that wizard that's sitting in the throne, the inks on that are just insane.
Wait, which one is
The
that?
one you had in your show with the wizard that's kind of got all the
Oh
snakes
yeah.
coming out. He's kind of
Oh yeah. Thanks, bro.
That's
Yeah,
really-
dude. I colored it.
yeah, I saw that.
I'm gonna it's gonna be screen printed as
Cool.
a big 18 or a 24 by 36 inch screen print. So I'll get on that soon.
Cool.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Are you still answering your questions that you have written down, or?
Well, I was gonna bring Jay Royal in here.
Okay.
Jay Royal always has questions, but I do
You're
have
on-
them.
You're
I
on YouTube.
Yeah. In Zoom here. This is on YouTube, I think. I'm hoping.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it is. And I'm just gonna assume that it is.
Okay.
Let's see. But let me see. We got some people in here. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know and then I'll let you back in. But I'm gonna talk to this Jay Royal dude.
Go ahead and talk with him, and I'll watch it on YouTube later.
All right, bro. Have a good
Cool.
day, man.
You too, man. Have an awesome weekend. I love you, man.
Love you too, bud. Let me see this. Okay, Jay Royal, what's cracking? Letting him in, joining. Oh, look at this photo of you proposing to your partner or something. Still
Yeah,
muted.
that was my wife. Yeah.
That's a cute
I
photo.
fixed it. Yeah, it makes her very happy with me whenever I have that. So
Oh,
and I like making her very happy.
oh, that's good. Yeah, making people happy is the cure to suffering.
It should be. How's it going?
Going good, buddy. How are you doing?
It seems like it's going better than last show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Last show was a catastrophe. You know what it is though, is that I like chaos and I like things crumbling down and disintegrating into nothing and being destroyed. So whenever stuff is a catastrophe for me, I kind of secretly love it in a way where I'm like, oh yeah, everything is destroyed. It's
Could
perfect.
be.
Yeah. That's a part we try in our culture too strongly to hold on and preserve things, whereas I think we should let them all fall away into dust.
Gonna die. Well, that's a fun Friday morning message.
Yes.
So, question. I got a question. I think I have a question. I wrote down a
Okay.
question. I have to write things down now. I
Oh.
wear bifocals. That's
That's
I
cool.
write things down and
You have cyborg guys.
yeah. They're about as expensive as cyborg guys.
Excellent.
So are you mentioned about doing drawing with Skinner again? What's the plan with that? What's the future look like for that?
Oh,
Come back.
well, there's actually during the pandemic, the director Alan, my friend Alan, who has a cool film coming out, which is an adaptation of a Noah Van Sciver comic. But Alan I went down to LA to try, because we created a new pitch deck called Art Show, which is a more expanded psychotic Pee-wee's Playhouse style thing, drawing show sequel to Drawing with Skinner. It's called Art Show.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's called Art Show.
Oh,
And
Art Show. Okay.
it's in space and there's demons and there's like all this crazy shit. Anyway, so during the pandemic, I went down to Los Angeles to Absolutely Studios and filmed a bunch of stuff there with Alan and my friend Yoni, who is a producer at Abso. And we got a bunch of footage together. It was very funny, very weird. And we've been slowly getting it together so that, because there's a lot of it's green screen stuff, it's in space, there's a lot of like animation, there's a lot of small sequences, because as you remember, Pee-wee's Playhouse had like a lot of sequences and vignettes of things,
Right.
and so we were thinking like, let's do that, but it's very absurdist, it's very strange, and it's going to have stop motion, claymation stuff, CGI, lots of humor, lots of very weird. I can't wait to share it with everybody, and it's been taking a long time, but we've been trying to kind of like pitch it around. But unfortunately, what I can ascertain is that since HBO basically bought and I don't know, whoever owns all that, not AT&T, but like General Electric, one of these massive corporations bought Time Warner, which owned Adult Swim and all this stuff.
It's crazy that those companies are ever bought or sold. It just doesn't make sense.
Oh, dude, they're bought and sold
on.
frequently, actually.
I know, but it's just baffling to me on my minuscule level.
Yeah.
That people are like, we should buy Time Warner.
Yeah. Well, they did buy it, and then that's actually what happened with when Super Deluxe went under, I think. So when I was doing drawing with Skinner with Super Deluxe, and then I quit because the head bosses there were not like, I was just having some disagreements with them. So but they folded because they were like, what's this Super Deluxe thing? It's just like money going to the internet kids or something, so they didn't know what was going on. And then but over time, so now Adult Swim is like, essentially is like merged with HBO, which is cool. But the thing is that they aren't producing a lot of live action, I don't think. It's
they go through phases, it seems like.
Yeah, but I think the idea is that like, when gone are the days of like the Eric Andre show and Tim and Eric and all this weird random,
the more experimental shit is what you're saying.
Because I think what happens is, and this is a common occurrence in my opinion, is that corporations or people who are in charge of money, like the guy with the gun next to the safe, and he's like, nobody touched this stuff, but he's like he sees like Rick and Morty being this massive mega hit, and then I think the idea is, how do we do more Rick and Morty stuff? Like, how do we create
it's somebody with a fucking measuring device that's going, okay, this is the sweet spot for the most potential earning. It's not that the other stuff doesn't earn, it's that this is the maximum fucking level, and so we just focus now everything on that only.
Yeah, I think that also when things get bought and sold, that you have sort of like weird visionaries who are in a position of power aren't there anymore. Like Mike Lazo was sort of the figurehead of Adult Swim, and made sure that it was sort of weird and that there were strange shows, and there it gave a lot of, like, think about the cultural impact of like what Tim and Eric had. It was, it's Tim and Eric came out, and then now essentially, you have like commercials, like, food commercials that are trying to be like Tim and Eric. Everything's trying to
replicating,
be like, which is funny because that's, we're in this like weird warp of, how do you put it? Inverted parody or something, where, Tim and Eric is like, hey, guys, didn't you notice that everything is a stupid nightmare and a hilarious joke? And then they make the commercial, and everybody's like, yeah, dude, this is great. Like, everything does seem weird and kind of like a horrible joke or something. But then you have these companies who are like, oh, how do we commodify that and sell that? Like, how do we come up on that? It's
my kids just watched, my youngest kids just watched one of those guys in a Disney show that he's a reoccurring character in, I guess.
Tim Heidecker's in a Disney show?
I think so. Pretty
Oh, you
sure.
gotta find out. I gotta find out what that is. That's
Yeah, it's like it was like a spooky storyline. I just walked in and he was
you sure?
working 2 or 3.
Isn't
Yeah,
he?
pretty positive.
Wow.
I'll send you the link to it. I'll ask for what it is. I'll
Yeah,
get the
find
info
out
from
what it
him.
is. If Tim is on a Disney show, that's crazy.
He at least is on a short series. It's like a spooky, well, I guess Twilight series type of style
Okay.
thing for kids, and he plays like an alien parent.
Oh, that makes sense though.
He plays very himself. What's your
Okay,
speaking of Adult Swim? What's your favorite piece that you did with them?
Oh, I mean, I just did some like commercial bumps, really.
Yeah, but which one did you were there any of those that you
Well, the
really
stop
really
motion
liked?
ones are cool. I
Yeah,
like
because there's the skull one or whatever. I just watched a couple of them.
there's a skull, but yeah, they're fun. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, anything. I'll take, it's like I felt like I was getting away with a lot, when I was doing that stuff. So
Yeah.
it was cool. I felt like every single one. I'm like, I mean, well, Jason DeMarco, the guy who basically let me do those, is the guy who created Toonami and who's basically responsible for integrating anime into the American zeitgeist.
Right.
And so, just talking to him was really cool, but he's awesome. And then, I would say to him, hey, I'm working on this animated project for High on Fire, which I did the black plot. And I said, I'm trying to get funding because record labels won't give you that much money. So, if you want to do something super good, you will invest money. You won't get money back. So I asked him like, hey, if we make some animations out of some stuff, can you, can we make them bumps? Because then they'll pay you for the bumps. And I was like, and then I'll take that money and invest it back into this animation and stuff.
Yeah.
And so he was extremely, kind and helpful by letting me do that stuff. And those were dark days too, for myself personally. So any kind of help that I could get, and then, you just sort of end up realizing that, the people who are sort of in your corner in a way, it's like those experiences to me are the ones that I look back on and I'm like, instead of having the video done and having everybody be like, dude, the video is amazing, I'm actually I look back and I think, man, I'm so lucky that there were people who are willing to help me in this time, and so
Right.
those are the things that I feel connected to. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, that's it. That's all.
That sounds great.
That's the whole thing. But I did do some Rick and Morty stuff that was kind of fun. The coolest thing I think I ever did, I don't know if anybody even got any, but I did a Dr. Roxo wallet. And so it was on the outside of the wallet, it was Dr. Roxo laying down in some cocaine.
Yeah.
And then on the inside of the wallet, it's Dr. Roxo laying down in hell. And he's like on fire and stuff, and he's being stabbed. But that came along, and I became friends with the art director who I love so much, Brandon. Brandon Lively's just been another angel in my life. But I was extremely bummed. My dad had just died. He just killed himself in like 9 years ago. And I was just like super tripped out. And I was like very having a lot of problems. And then I got an email from Brandon and he goes, hey man, I work for Adult Swim. Do you want to do anything cool? And I was like, oh yes, I do. And like, I just used this opportunity as something to like kind of stay positive about and hold on to. And he's just been cool to me ever since. And I think like throughout the years, it's easy because the struggle of being an artist will have you like very focused on like how shitty and hard things are. But if you can get more focused on mental health and being grounded and trying to recognize the good things and have gratitude, you'll see that like the actual fabric of of what's good about all the experiences are the connections to other people. And so that's it. That's all I've had. And I'm gonna maybe I should interview them. I should interview Brandon and even Ollie Green from the main producer, just zeitgeist of a human at Adult Swim has just been ultra kind to me. Like these people, it's just like they just like I don't know, you know, it's like if your self-esteem is low, and mine has been a lot in my life, you won't feel like you deserve or like that it's okay that people are kind to you and stuff like that.
Right.
But then if you can kind of like love yourself a little bit, it makes it easier to absorb that like something good is happening in your life, you know, and that these people are really cool. So I don't know.
It's a powerful thing too. Yeah. When people are kind without reason or cause, like if those people, especially in a business parameter, like for people to make personal connections and to reach across that normal, you know, border or barricade, whatever you want to call it. That's really powerful shit. Those are important people.
Well, they're the creative people, cool people in the middle of their own like whirlwind of dealing with executives and bullshit. You know what I mean? Right. So you have more in common with them as people than you would with the others, like the executive, you know what I mean? It's like you're all kind of in it together. It's like everybody is collectively like in this sort of homogenized world of overwrought, contrived bullshit. Like, how can we make things kind of interesting together, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's that, buddy. I like this format because basically people are zooming in and then I'm just like ranting at them and then I go, okay,
and then it's time to go.
You're back in the waiting room now.
Yeah, it's really healthy for everybody, I think.
Shit.
What's the rest of your day looking like?
Okay, this is what's happening is after this, I have a little bit of time before I interview this incredible comic book artist from Chicago, Jim Terry. So I'll interview him from noon to 1, and then I will go ride my bike over to the Tippett barbecue so that I could talk to them about getting all the lights and green screen rooms set up for the live action shots I'm trying to do. And then I will go ride my bike to the pharmacy and get my autoimmune suppressant injections, and then check on my friend Mark, who has a broken arm that I keep talking about, his arm.
They give you the injections at the pharmacy for you?
I have no. I get them there and then I bring them home and I have to put them in the refrigerator. So it's so that my bones don't fuse together because my autoimmune system tries to attack my body.
I got some fun autoimmune bullshit as well. So I take lots of shots too. I just started chemo again for my stupid shit. So
I have to put my shot. Where do you put your shot? I have to do mine in my penis.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Just kidding, buddy. Come on, I'm kidding around. Dude. But yeah, and then after that, I'm gonna probably do some illustrations. I've got some stuff I'm doing for some video game thing, and then I'm gonna ride my bike to see a heavy metal band play at the Golden Bowl, and then I'm gonna come home and chill, and then all day tomorrow I'm gonna work on a movie poster and chill, and then just relax a little bit.
That sounds amazing. That sounds like a lot of bike riding.
Oh yeah, my partner, my wife Christy, is out of town and she has the car, so I'm riding my bike like a son of a gun.
That's good for you though.
Yeah, I love it.
What's the weather there right now?
It's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Oakland.
it's a nice day out here too. It's just
Where-
not as
where are
nice
you
as
at?
Oakland. Oh, I'm far north of Sacramento. I'm like 2.5 hours north of Sacramento. I'm in a small town called Red Bluff, which is between
yeah.
Chico and Redding.
Yeah, Red Bluff. I went there one time. I went there to when I
No
was,
way. Why?
because they have fancy jet boat races there.
They do.
Yeah, because when I was young, I was a fan of, because my dad took me there one time and I saw Billy the Kid, the famous jet boat.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
I
Those
I've-
boats go so fast that if
they go
crash,
very fast.
they disintegrate.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't do well when they get a little wobbly.
No, they disintegrate, and then the person inside is like, "Why am I doing this?"
And then they hear all the cheers from the
Don't look
From
down
the
on Red
very
Bluff.
white
the-
crowd.
Don't look down on Red Bluff, the jet boat capital of the world. It's the
True.
greatest.
It's true. At one point, the Red Bluff people, the elder crowd, like to talk about. At one point, Red Bluff was going to be the capital of California, but then they quickly remind you that that's when California was Republican.
Right. Well, God bless them all. That's what I say.
They're
God
lovely
bless 'em.
people.
Yeah, God bless them. But listen, man, it's been a joy to talk to you. I guess I'm gonna talk to this old Chris Bolton guy here.
Yeah, Chris sounds great.
Yeah, Savage Zombie. He's in Australia, which is the jet boat capital of the world.
It is.
I know, I'm just kidding. I don't. It's the kangaroo meat capital of the world, actually. But listen, man, have a beautiful day.
Yeah, you too.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, have a good one.
Hold on, you guys. I have to take a piss. Okay, I blasted out some pee. Sorry about that. I had to. Let me see. I got one more here. Savage Zombie in the house. He's connecting to the audio. I wonder if this is actually working. Let's see. How do you think about your process? It's a good question. There you are. What's up? Oh yeah, what's that? You got that? That's the coloring magazine.
This is the gateway. This was the gateway drug.
Oh, that's the gateway that you saw. That you discovered. Oh, you better put that tongue back in your mouth, you sicko. What's up, man? How are you doing?
Still got all the stickers in it too. I can't bring myself to pull them out.
Dude, that was funny. I got a good story about that book, actually. So Last Gasp published that. Last Gasp is a publisher who is famous for kind of being at the forefront of the underground comics revelation that happened, and like R. Crumb and Greg Irons, Jack Jackson, all that stuff. But I would go there. That book was the first thing I ever had published with them, and I got super stoned before I went there and to talk to them about this coloring activity book. And I was so stoned, I didn't realize how stoned I had gotten. And so by the time I got to the offices, I was like very concerned that I wasn't gonna be able to, I don't know, like negotiate well on my own behalf or something. I don't know. So anyway, in my mind, I was like, well, what's the best thing I could do to sober me up? And then I saw there was a pizza Hey, there you go. I saw there's a pizza shop across the street and I ate a whole pizza because I thought that would have been an adequate and rational way to sober up. So then I go up to the meeting and then I proceed to, they're like, okay, so let's talk about this, coloring book thing, whatever. And then I just go, oh, you know what you guys should do is publish a book of art by Matt Fox, who is an artist from the 30s who does who did Weird Tales and who's like a really strange, it's just like very weird, impish, ghoulish art. And it's very unique. And they're like, so did you come here to convince us to publish a book of somebody else's book or something, or yours or what, and I was like, well, I want to do my book, but I also want you to do this other book too. And they were like, okay. So it's sort of funny to like, just like, if you're going to have a meeting where you're that confused and stoned, it should be Last Gasp, actually, I would say.
Place to be in that condition and full of pizza.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? I mean, most of the time if I'm talking to people about comic books or whatever, I'm so just zoned out or just trying to think so quickly on it that I just babble for a good 15, 20 minutes. And then they're like, hold on, like, what do you actually want to do? And it's like, oh, well, I can do the art, I can do the pencils, I can do the inks, I can do the colors. Yeah, I can do a bit of the lettering and stuff, no problem. And they just, time out, dude, settle down.
Okay. Do you have comic shops in where you live?
Well, because of the fucking pandemic, the ones I used to go to was run by a good friend of mine. I used to work in one. That was kind of, but when I was working for IDW Publishing and we did Zombies Feast back in 2006, I was lucky enough to be working in a comic shop and sell my own book to people and kind of peddle it to them over the counter, but also develop a kind of a, I don't know, I was like the jerk comic book owner dude. So someone would come up with a copy of Daredevil and I'd be like, what are you reading this for? You should be reading this stuff. Like, go pick up some Crumb or go pick up, something, Image or something.
A little kid comes up, you're like, go look at Crumb. And
yeah,
it's like all that weird, deranged, horny shit. And he's like,
I don't know. So most of those shops have shut down now, which is unfortunate just because day and age people don't, they're not going to the shops, they were running in the day anyway. But, most people download their stuff. Most people have apps, like Image has apps, DC and Marvel have apps where you can just, like a Kindle, read it on your phone or read it on your iPad. Or
that I still buy them. Wait, so we're doing stuff for you. You did stuff for IDW?
Yeah, Zombies Feast. I did a zombie comic. We went, me and another guy was a writer from Perth, Shane McCarthy, who ended up working for DC for a short period of time. He did like a Batman story, which was like his big heyday.
Okay.
But we went to IDW and I pitched at the time it was a crazy idea. I'm like, it's like a black and white comic book, but with spot red for the gore. So every time something gory happened, but by the end it would be like everything would be red. See, like mashing through all these zombies, it would just be like
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. That's cool, man.
Like homage to Romero.
Why don't you hit up those dudes at Monster Forge? Tell them that you want to make something.
Well, that's Steve Niles. And I don't know if Steve Niles wants to talk to me anymore because the thing with IDW, I was doing another comic book with him and Tom Jane called Bad Planet.
Yeah.
I did like a whole bunch of early design stuff and started working on pages, but there was some sort of kerfuffle with the rights to 30 Days of Night. So I think Steve Niles, more money or something out of that. IDW were like, we're not interested. So he split off from IDW. He and Tom Jane set up their, I think it's Raw Studios, and that's when they published Bad Planet. And yeah, I got bunted off the job. That was like my first gig with IDW was to be illustrating this thing written by Steve Niles and Tom Jane. And I think Chris Ryle, who was the editor-in-chief of IDW at that time, he was like, oh, look, I feel bad. We've got this other zombie thing coming up, Land of the Dead. George Romero's Land of the Dead. Do you want to do covers for that? It was like, yeah, please. Be awesome. That'd be really freaking awesome.
Yeah.
They like set that up. I got sent a whole bunch of photos of the Dead Reckoning van. And they were just basically, we want pictures, you know, do some painted covers for Land of the Dead. So I ended up doing the covers for that whole series that they did. And then after, they were like, have you got anything else? And it's like Shane and I had kind of known each other through me working in the comic shop. And he's like, do you want to do a zombie comic? And it's like, yeah, cool, let's do it. So 2005, we went to Comic-Con, traveled all the way over there.
Nice.
And pitched it and said to him, like, we were at the IDW little booth there for like, you know, a good 15 seconds. And they're like, so what do you want to do? And we pitched this quick zombie idea. Shane had written a little pitch. And they're like, cool, let's do it. So we did 5 issues of Zombie Feast. I ended up doing all the covers interlocking. So when you lay them all out back end to end, it's like a huge panoramic shot of like 60, 70 zombies.
Cool. Wait, so you didn't do the inside, huh?
I do 3 of the issues on the inside.
Mhm.
But yeah, they timing is like, I don't know, you probably, because you're lucky enough you're doing it just on your own kind of time. You've got your own, before you published and you had it all pretty much finished. But when you're working with a company, it's like, I was kind of young, a bit stupid. I'm like, oh, I'm really down on this and going nuts. And the scheduling got totally screwed. I think they supposed to be black and white with the red spot. And they said, oh, we made a solicitation mistake in previews. It says full color. So you're going to have to color it now. And I was like, can't you get someone else to do that? Like maybe color it for me. And they're like, no, I had 2 days to color 22 pages. So
They strong-armed you, dude. They strong-armed you into coloring it. That's fucked up.
Well, all because of just like a clerical error. You know,
Yeah,
so
but how do you know? How do you know? I know I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but it's like that's like a really good way of getting you to do something. You know what I mean? Like being like, oh, we promoted it as color, dude. So, you know,
to do that now. And it's like, oh, okay. All right. And yeah, it was months of work that I did. And I was
2 days.
Well, for that first issue, it was 2 days. And then it totally threw the rest of the schedule off for the next couple of issues. So
You got shafted. Yeah. Dude, I met Thomas Jane at Comic-Con.
Yeah, I sort of hooked up with them in 2005, and he's like looking at my sketchbook, and there was some of the drawings I did for Bad Panic. He's like, Steve, look, here's our artwork. And I was like, my artwork? This is my artwork. This isn't yours, dude. This is my artwork for the book that you didn't pay for. There was no contract signed.
Oh, right. Wait, do you
Then
think
using one of my designs as part of the logo for the comic book? And I was like, oh, okay, so nothing's safe, nothing's sacred.
Well, yeah, but you gotta tell them like you can't use my art without paying me money, you fuckers. Because also like branding is like, that's a whole nother amount of money.
And that was the thing in Perth, there's just no intellectual property lawyers to talk to about sort of thing at the time. And
Bad Planet was a cool comic. Who did the art inside there?
It was Louis LaRosa.
Yeah, it's awesome. So awesome.
James Daly, I think, jumped in for a little bit of it. It had Bernie Wrightson.
Yeah.
Covered.
How did you discover Bernie Wrightson?
Hey?
How did you discover Bernie Wrightson? Like, when did you start seeing Bernie Wrightson's?
Bernie Wrightson was like, I don't know, back in the day when Ghostbusters came out, like the making of book, you know, when they used to make really cool making of books. And
wait, there's a making of Ghostbusters book?
Yeah. Remember they used to print them back in like the 80s? You'd get like, you know, the book of the film, and they would have like concept art and like.
Yeah, I want to see that. I got to buy that.
Yeah, I'm probably out of print, but on eBay you'd probably find it. But, you know, behind the scenes shots of you know, Steve Johnson making up effects, doing like, you know, Slimer and things like that. And it was like, and I see these drawings of Bernie Wrightson's concept art, and I'm like, holy shit, you get paid to draw monsters for movies? Like, what a job.
Well, you know what's fucked up, man, is that Bernie Wrightson is an example of like somebody who is, you know, basically a genius of illustration and comic illustration, but was not it, but the idea is, and he's one of many artists who like that, who are sort of these human anomalies in the industry of comic art, where they're so good at comics and they're just like really beloved, and they've done like the most incredible shit ever, but then the comics don't pay them enough to keep them in comics. And that if you're like, you know, Ivan Reitman making Ghostbusters or whatever, and you see Bernie Wrightson's art and you're like, well, let's get this guy. And then he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm doing comics. And they're like, all right, well, we'll pay you like 10 times as much. And then what do you think Bernie Wrightson's going to do? He's got to buy, you know, groceries and shit. And yeah. And also it's like, the first time that Jack Kirby ever had health insurance ever was when he quit doing comics and started doing designs for Ruby Spears. So,
I mean, documentary, there's footage of Bernie, and he's talking about when he worked for DC doing Swamp Thing with Len Wein.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you know, they have all the original artwork, like the big pages, the original Bernie Wrightson that's penciled and inked and stuff. And he was saying, like, it was just crazy. Like, he wanted some of it back. You know, he's like, that's my artwork, you know?
Yeah.
And apparently, like, little kids that have tours of the DC studios sometimes that have, like, buses.
Yeah.
Kids. They're handing the artwork out. They're like, hey, kid, here's a page of Swamp Thing. And kids don't know what they
on those tours, because they didn't, because you know, it wasn't established that people were able to get their own pages back. You know, Neil Adams was really helpful and instrumental in getting that changed. But
Neil Adams is a scary dude. I remember when we were at Comic-Con, I saw him doing portfolio reviews.
Oh,
and
really?
He's quite like, if you didn't like what you're doing, like, this kid was like, you know, could you not look at my folio? And he kind of like flipped through it and literally like slid it off the table, just kind of pushed it to the side and was like, next loser. And I'm holding on to my folio because that's kind of what I was there for. It was promotion.
Yeah. Well, the best thing that somebody can do is be honest with you, but there's a
line though.
There's a line. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's like so funny is that people will ask me my opinion about their art or something sometimes. And I'm just like, it's like, sometimes it's just like, man, it's just like not even worth sharing my opinion, because not only is it that like it's like people say they want you to be honest, but then when you are honest, you know, you go, well, look, I think that you probably need to develop some more skills if you want to do this professionally or whatever. And then they're basically like, you know, thanks for crushing my dreams, man. You know? And it's like, no, no, that's not you. You asked me, you approached me, because there's a difference. There's like such a difference with like, if somebody goes, hey, what do you think of my art? And then I'd say, to anybody, I would say, I love it. Keep going. Do it. Do your art. Do it however you want. I don't give a shit. I just want you to be creative. That makes me happy. But then when somebody says, well, can I have your opinion about if I'm going to be professional? That's a different thing, where I go, well, what do you mean? And they're like, well, I want to do designs for, you know, bands or shirts or skateboards and blah, blah, blah. And then I go, okay, now look, this is different, because I will never discourage somebody from being creative by being like, I'll never say anything. But if you're like, I want to be a professional artist, I'll just say, I think that you have a little ways to go. And these are a few things that you could use to strengthen your chance and increase your chances of doing it professionally. But the way that people perceive themselves is not always honest. And, you know, I've had experiences where I've told people, like, I just think that, like, you know, you should probably spend a lot more time getting the fundamentals, illustration, you know, of skills and blah, 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 maybe some painting in this way or digital stuff. And they're like, oh, well, I thought that I was doing better than that. And it's like, well, that's fine, but I'm just telling you, this is not even from me, really. This is from like my experiences of dealing with art directors and shit.
Standard, the industry standard deems
Right.
this.
Right.
Like, it's like you don't go, oh, look, I kind of like teeth. I should just go into the dentist now and just start drilling away. It's like, you got to learn something first. Foundation. And then, I mean, like I said, at the Comic-Con, I was there doing that whole pitch thing. And I remember people like in the line, they'd be like, can I see your art folio? Or kind of shh. And I say, yeah, okay, we'll swap it. And, you know, I was of the mindset that, you know, the comic book artists that I like Bernie Wrightson and Crumb and Vaughn Berkey and Mebius and stuff, they did everything, man. They did pencils, inks, colors, lettering, they did the cover, they did the inside, you know, they did everything. And I was under the proviso that, well, you know, that's what you do. That's how, you know, if you're going to do comic books, you rock up and you're the all-rounder.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't realize, everyone else that was in the line is like, oh, I'm here for a penciling job. So I've got a folio which is 2 inches thick of just pencils. Or I've got a folio that's just inks of someone else's work.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not getting any leads. Why someone's not going, wow, I really need you. It's like, because you're just a smaller link in the chain, dude.
Yeah.
Get a lot more interest. You're going to get a lot more people interested in what you're doing if you are able to slot into each of those different positions. If you're like, you just rock up thinking, well, I just want to do covers. That's not really an option. You know, you get that option. Been in the industry for 10, 15, maybe 20 years, they start going, or unless you're extraordinarily talented,
Right.
It's like, we're just going to get you doing covers. But most of these guys have done the hard yards. If you're Eric Powell or someone like that from the Goon, you know, he's done the hard yards. He's an amazing painter. You know, that's why they get these gigs. That's why they can just do covers and live off that.
Yeah, I think that one thing is people go, oh, how do you know, how would I get attention in this day and age? And it's funny because I never considered myself like a great, like one of these high up illustrator dudes. So I had to be really honest with myself and be like, I'm not, you know, Aaron Horkey. I'm not Mike Sutphin. I'm not, you know, I'm not that level. I'm not on this fucking high level illustration style. But what my strengths are is that I can like get a lot of attention. I can make a lot of friends. I can be charming. I can be fun. I can be in the right place at the right time and all this stuff. And so I was like, well, I'll just lean into this. And so that works. That's fine because I was able to like get better over time. I'm still nowhere near those artists. You know, like I said, like I'm like nowhere near any of these motherfuckers. But I'm working really hard on it. The thing is that times have changed where, you know, you can make friends. That's a really important thing to do. But now with the internet, digital internet stuff is like, the thing that's going to help you get attention in this day and age is, just being an amazing illustrator. There's this artist that I saw just pop up recently, the Creep from 6 Feet Deep on Instagram. And he's like Virgil Finlay. He's like the greatest illustrator just came out of nowhere and is the best. And I just look at his shit and I'm like, this dude is just smoking everybody. Like, is so good and so unique. And it's just like, this is how you get ahead now in today, is like just being super, super good. Now, unfortunately, it takes time and sacrifice.
Or being super engaging. I mean, that's a good way of, I mean, you are super engaging. I mean, you pretty much, you air out your dirty laundry for everyone to see. And we've seen you skid marks.
Dirty laundry. Like how much I'm not excited about Morbius. No, I'm just kidding.
The reviews have just panned that as well.
You know what though? I don't really care. I pretend to care, but I don't. I really don't.
Used to be into movies. Like I was really like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go see Event Horizon. Oh yeah, and then walking out going, that was just fucking Hellraiser in space. What the fuck's going on?
Hey, you got to see Spine of Night, man.
Ain't it?
Yeah, so good. So good.
I think that's it. You and me, like stop motion, animation, any sort of animation, all over that like a rash. So
yeah.
But like again, style is important. Are these other people that are really kind of competitively, but they just rather looking at an anatomy book, they're like, oh, how did Jim Lee draw this? Or, how did this person draw this? I'm just going to try and draw it like them.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's good if you want to learn what they did, but don't then pawn it off as your style. Like, that's what my style is. It doesn't always work for people.
Well, we're not in the early 90s of comics. So everybody's going to know, everybody. I mean, that's the thing is like, it's hard to develop your own style, but you got to, it takes a while.
Yeah. I mean, you've developed that. And that's what people like about what you do. Like, it's wicked. I mean, you can see a skin a mile away. You look at
oh, that's cool. That's cool because I can't tell because I feel like I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing. And
like Chet Zar, you can see like his that's a mile away. And I mean, again, like someone like Bernie Wrightson, you can tell it's a Bernie Wrightson piece the way it's inked, but then you're like, oh, hold on. He was influenced by Franklin Booth and then Frank Frazetta. So then there's all this connective tissue that ends up pushing you way, way back into the past. And you're like, illustrators from like the operations, the guys that did like newspaper illustrations, like, just smokers. They're just smokers like cheap doobies, man. Like you look at what they did and they're etching this stuff and they're getting paid like what, a shilling?
I know.
Get half a bread roll, some stale wine. There you are.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man. That's why like a lot of these comic book artists go insane. They go nuts.
Well, I mean, that's what I was talking about. When you work for in the industry, you're literally laying the tracks as the train is barreling down behind you. It's kind of ridiculous. And the people that stick with it are the ones that can just establish a style, establish a way of doing it that's really quick and it's efficient for them. It may not be exactly what they want to do stylistically, but as far as comic books are concerned, they can churn out 22 pages in a month, which is the standard.
Yeah, there's no way I could do that. Dude, so in the H.P. Lovecraft issue of Heavy Metal from 1978, there's this artist I found. You know who Arthur Soydam is, right?
He's a jerk.
Yeah, he seems like a psycho. So you know what? You know what's so funny?
People's booths at Comic Cons, but I really love Flytrap and Chully. I really like that comic.
Yeah, so dude, he's kind of a Bernie Wrightson, Frank Frazetta ripoff guy, but he also had his own weird style. But like there's some stuff that he did that's super Bernie Wrightson.
Yeah.
Like look at
like I almost see Mike Plug. Like Mike.
Yeah,
Plug
there's Mike Plug. Mike Plug to me is like a friendlier Bernie Wrightson. But like look at this shit. Look at this.
Yeah, that's totally like, I mean, the cross hatching and the shadow work, pretty cool.
Yeah,
And I love that. Awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. He actually, and you know, when I was getting to know Sam Keith, but like, look at this, dude. Come on, look at that. Bernie Wrightson all day. But like, you know, I started to become friends with Sam Keith, and he was telling me that he was like really influenced by Arthur Soydam.
Yeah, I mean, again, he went a bit digital as well. He was doing the Marvel Zombies covers for a while, and that was all
Dude, Arthur
digital.
Soydam's Marvel Zombies covers are so funny. But you know what? I do have to go here in a second, but I did want to share some funny Arthur Soydam stuff. Is that if you find his book, his art book, the introduction is so funny. So like as an artist, you know, it's kind of our job to promote ourselves and to sort of toot our own horn and also pretend like it's not us at the same time. So, you know, you know, when I write like about Skinner thing, it's so bizarre because you're writing it like, you know, Skinner is a weird, fun man from, you know, California and stuff. And then you write it. Arthur Soydam's is like the greatest genius to ever walk the earth with the, like the Beatles' favorite artist, the fucking whatever, like Bruce Springsteen's best friend, you know, who single-handedly revived Marvel Comics by doing the covers to Marvel Zombies, the greatest artist to ever live, Arthur Soydam. And it's like, dude, he's writing that.
Yeah.
He's insane.
Believes it as well. I think he feels that entitlement, and that's fine. That's cool, but don't undermine other people's chances at Comic Cons just because you want to have 3 tables.
He photoshopped a line that was waiting to sign. So like he's doing a signing. He's like, the line is really long to get a signing, and it was photoshopped super long. Dude, that's epic. That is so fucking funny. Eric Larson was roasting him about that on Twitter. I saw that like years ago.
To meet Eric Larson and Robert Kirkman back in 2005, that was a highlight because they were just the funniest dudes hanging out. I was just talking crap about Savage Dragon. But, you know, meeting people like Jeff Darrow, that was super cool.
Yeah.
Like you said, sometimes you're a bit trepidatious about meeting your heroes. For the most part, you know, met Bernie Wrightson then, and he was like the nicest dude. Stuttering idiot.
Yeah, Bernie Wrightson is the nicest person I've ever met, maybe.
I was wearing like a monster shirt that had Dracula and all this stuff, and I was like, man, you're like, can you be like my pop? Like, you're so cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mike Mignola, not so much. He was a bit standoffish, but he's Mike Mignola. He's
I also give comic book artists a lot of room because they've spent so much time alone that they're insane. So whatever. Like John Byrne is crazy. All of them are crazy. Like even when you listen to like Rob Liefeld interviews, it's just like, this is somebody whose life was touched by comics in a way where now he just seems like super like I don't know, eccentric or something, you know. I think it just makes you eccentric, and that's why I'm like trying not to like go insane with my own comics. Oh,
Liam Sharp's artwork.
The what?
Liam Sharp. Do you know his
Yeah,
artwork?
yeah. He's my buddy. He lives up the road.
Yeah. He was the nicest, most accommodating dude. Like, he was so nice about just looking after us because, you know, we'd gone a long way. We'd flown for 15 hours away from home to go to San Diego, and he was just the nicest dude and so accommodating. But just his artwork is just jaw dropping, dude. Like, realistically, it's like, dude, you're like. Simon Bisley had a love child with Frazetta and turned into some sort of virtuoso protege.
Yeah.
It's nicest dude though. Took us out for drinks, took us out for meat and warm bread. It was delicious, you know. Getting drunk with Simon Bisley at the bar, hanging out with who else did we meet? We met
yeah, that was a cool that must have been a really fun evening for you. You're like, wow.
you're there with Glenn Fabry, like the
Oh,
two
yeah.
guys next dudes, and you're like, oh, what? Like, and Glenn Fabry is just drunk. He is so soused. And by the end of the night, when they're like, the bar's shutting at like 12 o'clock, and we're like, what?
Yeah.
You can't shut it now. We're just getting started. And it was just me and him standing at the bar waiting for someone to serve us. And it was kind of, you know, it was like a nice moment. But the
That's a nice. It was a nice moment where like two super drunk people are like, it's
Super-
just us, man.
they wouldn't give me glass. But every time they'll give me glasses to other people. And as soon as they heard my accent, they're like, Australian, give him a plastic cup.
Yeah,
get served
yeah.
whole
You guys
time.
are only allowed to have plastic cups. That's that's the word on the street, man. Well, listen, man, I've had fun. I've gone over. I'm trying to see if this is cool or not. I don't know what's going on with this, but yeah, let's see. I think we've got, oh yeah, what's this? Oh yeah, that's cool, man. Your prototype.
Little 3D printing my little projects. That's
Yeah.
just like, this is the toy I always wanted when I saw Wizards.
Are you
Actually,
3D? Are you 3D printing that at your house or something?
No, I use Shapeways in New York. I just
Okay,
send it
cool.
on,
Nice.
set up there's a few local places that'll do it, but I'm still trying to find someone I can deal with, like have a rapport with. And
So
so
to make toys or something?
Huh?
To make the toys? Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
because that's the thing. I want to make either whatever comic books or any sort of products with them. You know, it's nice to get a toy with it, or a badge, or a sticker, and I think people will respond to that if they're just like, oh, I just got this comic book, it's cool, but hey man, get a toy as well. If you do a Kickstarter or something like that, that's a nice tier. Especially like your friend was saying before, you know, he's got a 3D printer that he's bought. If you could set up a tier, like here's the file to 3D print your own one. I've got no problem with that.
Maybe.
Print 20, give them to your friends. I don't give a shit. You know, you're going to go online and download my picture anyway and probably print it on the back of a shirt. Go for it. I got no problem.
Hell
with
no, I charge people for that. They don't get no files from me. Nobody's getting no fucking files from me, homie.
Well, unless you.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. That was my tough guy thing, routine that I was doing.
So that the accountant, if he watches this later on, is not going to go, fuck, Skinner's giving away heaps of shit.
No, they don't give a shit. They don't care. Nobody knows. I only accept digital files as payment. I only accept exposure as payment, you know.
If they can give me a little bit of credit, that's pretty good. You'll get credit.
You trying to get credit? Nah, buddy. Listen, have a good day or night. I don't know what it is right now. I don't know what's going on.
Like Saturday morning, but real early in the morning, like 2 o'clock or something.
Oh, Jesus. Damn. Yeah, it's Friday at 11:30 a.m.
I was up watching Ray. I just saw that wicked scene where Christopher Reeve fights himself in the junkyard.
Hell yeah. Okay. Fight yourself. We're all fighting ourselves in the junkyard in this world, the junkyard of life.
More of, man, junkyard fight. One thing that movies are missing out on nowadays is fights in junkyards.
Yeah. I strangely agree with that, actually.
Transformers. I was waiting, those whole Transformers, they're going to have a bit in a junkyard where all these rusty Transformers pop up. Nah. Thanks, Michael Bay.
They're like, we've traded out the fight in the junkyard for a fight in the toy aisle of Toys R Us. But which is also a junkyard.
Robot. Here's a robot with a robot beard. What? Oh, idiots.
Come on, buddy. That's American ingenuity. But listen, have a great day. Have a good time. Go to bed. And it's too late to go to bed. You have to stay up. And but man, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for joining me. And everybody else, have a great day. Forbidden activities for neglected children. So this is
safe. All the best to Christy, and wish Mark all the best on his broken limb.
Yeah. I'll show some photos here soon. Let me get some photos.